Hey guys, Firelord here. I just wanted to make a quick tips and tricks, kind of like a beginner guide video for people who don't know much about the game and want to get in, jump into the action, knowing what they're doing. I just want to start off here at Red Rocket with my power armor collection to show there is a shit ton of power armor in this game, and I'll show you how to get it. But before we get into that, I just want to discuss a little deeper about the power armor. So, right here is the X-01, the 45, the T60, and the T51. All these armors have been in the game previously, save the T60. This is the first game it showed up in. The T45 was the main armor in Fallout 3, very common, and that's what the Brotherhood used mainly, since there was only two 51s in Fallout 3. Now, this armor you should mostly be familiar with if you have played the older games as well, because this is the Enclave armor, the bug armor, as some people like to call it. This is the rarest armor in the game, since I've only found one suit of it, this suit, and it's not even complete, since, you know, this leg is from some other shit. What leg is this? 51 leg. So this is the best T60 in the game, pretty much, that you get through the Brotherhood quest line. You can upgrade your armors in many ways, as I'll just quickly show you.
Building something useful, I hope.
You can change the model. Each model is better. Look at the damage resistance, it increases each model. And you're going to need to upgrade your science and armor. Obviously, you're going to have these perks to do it, and the items. So F is the best, A is the shittiest. There's different paints, and each paint will give you different types of things that it'll boost you, basically. So hot rod, shark paint, all agility boosted. You know, military paint, Vault-Tec, you know, different paints. Each paint will give you a different type of boost. And, you know, with the exception of no materia mod, obviously, which is just the base armor. Then there's regular mods. Like, these mods will boost you in different areas. So as you can see, these increase unarmed damage because it's your arm. But if you go to like the legs, there will be things that will help you carry weight capacity, reducing action points and everything. You can customize your armor very, very well. And the chest has a lot that you can do, like the jetpack, which you can obtain at the end of the Brotherhood quest line if you don't want to make it. You can even make your power armor go invisible, and there's so many things you can do. So some people don't even know this shit. Obviously, it's going to take quite a bit of material and specific perks, but if you know what you're doing, you can get it no problem. So let's talk about which is the best power armor. Base wise, the best power armor is this bitch. This bitch right here is the best one. The X-01. Or I think maybe the T60 could even rival it, possibly, depending on the mods. But these two right here are like the best. T51 is awesome and all, but as you can see, as the number gets higher, the power armor just gets better. So T60 is like very good for heavy type shit. Again, so is the Enclave armor. Now, the Enclave armor and the T51 actually are pretty rare, and they spawn in specific locations depending on level. This armor, you will not see this shit until you're at least level 27. So don't go to those spawn points until you're that level. Otherwise, the game will generate a shittier armor. I'll put a link for the map in the description. Anyways, the T60 and the 45 are way more common. You're going to find these a lot. And Raider variants. Raider variants are like, you know, they're shitty looking armors. But hey, it's better than nothing, right? So let's move on to the next thing. Power fusion cores. Fusion cores are pretty common in the game depending on how you play. They are located in basements and on the deepest parts of buildings and sewers sometimes. This is a power core right here, fusion core. Now, you can take them out, which I would really recommend. Taking them out makes less chance of someone stealing it. If you leave it in, there's more chance of someone putting it on. So I have this one on because I'm going to use it later. and there's like only 2 people here in this area. So let's talk about mods for the weapons. Now, when you find a gun in this game, it might be ass, but you can make it very powerful very quickly. Like this piece of garbage. Yeah, 39 damage is not a lot, right? But that is the strongest this particular weapon can get, unfortunately. Or unless you use the 45 receiver, then it will increase to the 46 damage. Each type of gun uses a specific ammo. However, certain guns can get different type of receiver that will allow you to load different ammo. Sniper rifles in particular. Like this sniper right here is a 50 cal. As you can see, this was not originally a 50 cal, but it was swapped out to become one. And 50 cal does a lot of damage. Look at the regular base damage for this sniper rifle does 77, but look at the increase with 50. Right? It's a big difference. Stocks can also affect, like, you know, what kind of gun it is too, because, you know, it can go from being such a beast ass shit like this to, look at this. This looks terrible, but it depends on how you play. Like a laser rifle can easily become a pistol just by switching stocks. And you can rename your weapons, obviously. As you can see, this specific weapon is probably one of the best in the game. You can only obtain through the railroad. However, you do not need to side with them. Only work with them to a certain point, and you will get it. Its original name is Deliverance, so keep an eye out for that. So these are the weapons I use, and most of them are unique variants of other weapons. Some of them are not. This I just found recently. I'm planning to dismantle it. This alien blaster pistol you can obtain through a UFO that crashes. So that is a random event. It happens in the same spot all the time. I'll show you that spot real fast. So you can check that spot whenever you want. It happens right about here, right? Like southeast of Oberlin Station. That's where it happens. And it only happens there, unlike Fallout 3 where the fire lance shows up anywhere. But it's a random event. It happens randomly, but it'll always spawn there. So another thing about, let's talk about settlements. Settlements in this game are pretty cool. A new addition to the Fallout franchise. When you plant food, you're not going to have an increase in food until you assign a settler to, you know, collect the food. As you can see, this guy Hancock is fucking with the food right now. He is a unique companion. So another thing is supply lines. As you can see here, these lines indicate that they're all connected through sort of like a courier, you could say, a provisioner that essentially like allows you to use it shares your inventory, because different settlements, when you go there and you try to build something, you will only use what you have on you. If you want to use something, let's say I go to Starlight Drive-In and I want to use all my items, I can't because my shit's in Sanctuary, but I have a supply line that will allow me to use it. And supply lines are pretty awesome because it allows you to basically make any base with all the previous items you have from your original outpost. So that's pretty cool. They can span very far, as you can see. And for player housing, I think this is one of the best spots for player housing, the Croup Manor. I just discovered it yesterday, but it is really awesome. So I'll show you guys in a bit how it is. I want to talk about Vault 101 really quick. Vault 111. In Vault 111, there is a gun called the Cryolator or some shit like that. And you can't miss it. You're going to see that shit. And it's locked behind a very difficult door. When you get Dogmeat, you can go back and command him like this. Hey. Yeah, what is it? And he'll retrieve the weapon. You have to be in a specific spot, though. I just lockpicked it, but I've seen it. I've tested it eventually on the second playthrough. And I've also, I've seen the videos for it, so it's pretty cool. Try that. It's a very powerful gun. Ammo's rare, but it's strong. And I'd also want to talk about generators. I don't know why you would ever want to use the wind power generator. Maybe if you want to roleplay, like, oh, I want to be green, whatever. But This is the best generator to use, obviously. It does 10 power. Unfortunately, there's nothing higher than that. So you can just use these. If you want, I would use the smaller generators if you're only going to plan to power something like a guard tower. And you do not want to waste resources on a large generator. And oh, something big that I almost forgot. Let's go back inside for a moment. Let's talk about your workshop items. You see all this shit here? You see how I have aluminum, antiseptic, asbestos? I did not put that there. I had someone get that shit for me. You know how? You have to build a scavenger table, which I will show you. It is right here. A scavenging station, my bad. You build one of these and you assign people to it. And what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll find shit for you. Like, look at this. Acid, adhesive. Look at all this shit. 117 aluminum. Goddamn. Look at all this shit. Now, this is... I just stored this here personally, this piece of power armor. But you see all this crap that this guy collected for me. And the more people you have on it, and also food from your farms that you do not use, like your people don't eat, they will store it here. You have extra food and extra water, which is why places that are surrounded by water, such as that island I showed earlier, you can kind of break the economy of the game by placing a shit ton of the industrial water purifiers, which produce 40 water. So you can have a bunch of those, and basically the people will drink the water they use, and any extra water will be stored, and water, it can be sold, and you can make a lot of money that way. See, I don't have that much extra water because I don't do that. That's like kind of like an exploit, but it can be done. Wow, 392 steel, huh? That's a lot. So as you can see, I'm overcumbered from picking up all this shit. Now I'd like to show you the junk tab. What I like to do is just dump everything on the floor. As you can see, I'm just dumping everything. Man, that's a lot of oil. Holy shit. It's fucking lit. Now, it's a somewhat time-consuming process, but, you know, you could do it fast if, you know, you tap the buttons faster, obviously. So, what I like to do, it's a little time-consuming, is just pick the shit up like that. You scrap it on the spot. You don't have to do it. You can leave it in your inventory, but it takes up space, and I don't want to do that. I like to have, like, the least amount of shit in my inventory as possible. So, you know, you just scrap all this, or store it and then scrap it later, or, you know, just leave it there. I don't know if leaving it in your storage, like, you know, just storing it, I don't know if you could use it later, but personally, I just do it like this, since, you know, I just like to, this is fun, sort of, so, just collect everything. And there's a lot of crap here. I am going to be doing some serious building. And I want to talk about weapons again, and something very cool about them.
You just say the word if you want to take a look.
So let's talk about weapons really fast. You can do a lot of things with them other than just customize. As you can see, I just dropped 2 junk weapons, or they're not junk, but I'm not going to be using them. I cannot scrap this since it's a legendary, so I'll just put that in storage. This laser rifle, as you can see, I'll get 6 plastic, 3 screws, and circuitry. How is that possible? This perk right here. This is a perk that you're going to want to get. It makes things a lot easier. Scrapper level 2. You can get rare components from weapons and armor. You can't do this normally, so you need the perk. I really recommend that. And I'd consider getting this perk too. Inspirational. Inspirational allows you to have, you know, like, you can't hurt your companions. Think about it. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty beast, because, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've shot Piper or someone and I knock him down, and I'm like, oh fuck.